that tutorial. No, bro, like, come on, no, like, at ease, my sisters. Okay, I'm playing. Today, you're finally getting that tutorial, my babe. But we're only gonna be focusing on our base. We're not gonna focus on our eyes. We're not gonna focus on our brows. We're not gonna focus on a lip combo. We are focusing on the base, because if your base is not tea, then the look is not tea. Say it with me. If the base is not tea, then the look is not tea. Anyway, so the basic run through. I will tell you which primers I use, which foundation I use, which concealer, which bronzer, which contour, which setting spray, which powder, and products I would recommend. So I'll be like pictures and everything, and then also I'm gonna explain why I use it, and if I don't, I forgot. Okay, only one person. I'm only one person. So, primer. Let's get into it. Remember, guys, this is a safe space, so we're not going to judge that my products are basically almost done. Okay, because I'm just waiting for my allowance. Like, it's the end of the month. Let me just wait for my allowance, and then I can buy new stuff. Elf Power Grip. I live by her. And then the Essence Jelly Grip. So these two are both dupes for the Milk Hydro Grip, and that is like 800 rand for a bottle this big. And I don't think any of us want to be spending that money. So these two, she is less than 100 rand, she is 400 rand, 350 depending on where you get her, and everywhere you try to get her is out of stock. That's how much the girls want her, because she's that good. So dupe of a dupe, both not the same texture, but both work really well. I love either, as you can see, both finished. But if you want your money's worth, if you don't want to spend that much on a primer, go with the Jelly Grip. Both work really well. And sometimes I even mix them, depending on how I'm feeling that day. And I like to use her to focus on the under eyes, because that's where you crease the most. That's where, like, if your makeup is bad, that's where you notice. But yes, if you're not into the sticky primer, then there is the Maybelline primers. It's the normal one, which is the purple one, and then the blue one, which is the matte. Put them up here. Those are also really good primers. They just don't function the way these two function. This is like a sticky primer where if you were to stick something, it would stick. Those are more moisturizing or mattifying primers. Another primer you can use are the pore primers. I'll put it up here. Those are to block out your pores, which is basically when your skin looks like this. And I think we're still young, our pores aren't that big, but if that's what you want to cover, then that's what you would do. I would put the pore primer first and then go in with the sticky primer or the moisturizing primer. Totally up to you. Okay, so when I go in with my primer, I literally go everywhere and apply it on like moisturizer. As you can see, it's turning a bit white. That's just it mixing with my moisturizer. So when it comes to putting on your primer, please do your skincare routine at least 30 minutes to an hour before, so that they can like settle, because then otherwise when you're mixing the primer with everything, then it turns white, and then, you know, like now your sunscreen isn't going to sunscreen, your moisturizer will still moisturize, but you know, for everything to be effective, I would just suggest the minute you get out of the shower, do your skincare routine. But also, it really isn't a train smash if, you know, like you do your skincare routine and then put your primer on immediately. It's just a thing of like extra mixing. Okay, so you've just done your primer and now you're thinking, okay, what's next? It is the most useless thing, but if you want that glowy skin, like when I say useless thing, it's the most useless thing on brown, dark skin. Like, if you're not white, let me say that. But she gives you that glow. So what I like to do is I mix her with my foundation, and then you get like a glowy, especially around this area where your skin is highlighted. She gives you that glow. These 3 foundations: Maybelline Fit Me, Yardley Stay Fast, and Catrice True Skin. These 3, holy grail, you guys. As you can see, they're all different colors. These 2 are the closest. Actually, I don't fucking know. I don't know. But let me explain how I do my makeup when I use each one. So, if I am in a rush or kind of lazy, I will use this one because this is the one that's closest to my full complexion. It's a bit dark on me, so I'll use this, mix it with that, and put it on the outer layer of my face and leave this part uncovered, and then go in with concealer. I don't use like contour or anything if I'm using this Maybelline 50, and this is in shade 360. And then my Yardley, guys, this is the best foundation on the market, I'm telling you. Drugstore edition. I love her down. As you can see, she's empty. I put her here, and on my forehead, and then I sometimes mix these 2. So she'll come into my highlighted lighter areas, and then she'll go on the outside. That's how I use these 2 together. And then this Catrice True Skin, I use her all over my face, and then I will still add concealer and a contour. Today we're gonna use let's do this combo today, and then I'll show you how I do it. Okay, so we're gonna go in this area, and then we're gonna take a damp beauty blender. You can either use a beauty blender or a brush or a dry beauty blender. It doesn't matter. It's just that if you're using a beauty blender, it's not going to be as full coverage as it would be with a brush. Okay, as you can see, this is how it looks, and I'll blend. As you can see, we're not going up towards the under eye too much because we're still going to put on concealer, so we don't want it to be too heavy underneath the eye. Can't you see like how stunning she is, you guys? I'll forever rep her. Like, and to be fair, my mom put me on, so shout out President, bro. Okay, and that's where I focused everything, and then I'll go over my eye a bit. Depending on how you like your makeup, you're gonna put as much as you want. That was a little bit of foundation. Usually I do a lot more, but because I don't want to waste so much today, I'm gonna only do a little bit. And then we're gonna go in with Maybelline Fit Me. Shake, shake, shake. And And these are the areas we're gonna focus on. She's also a bit finished, so I have to. Now I'm gonna also add the bronze drops. And I'm gonna take an angled brush. As you can see, this is way closer to my neck than it is to this part. Also, when you do your foundation match, please match it to your neck, because otherwise that's when people are like, hey, Dazan, she's trying to be a different complexion. And it's like, no, I just didn't match properly, my gosh. Okay, queens, match to your neck. But how stunning is that? My goodness. Come down. Go to your eye like that. Also, optional. I do it sometimes, I don't do it all the time. Also, a bit of your ear. But this is mainly if like your complexions aren't matching, you know. But as you can see, this is matched to the T. And also that Essence bronze drop smells so good. I don't know what it is. So, how are we looking? T, bro, T. Another thing is, you're gonna choose your foundation based on your skin type. So if you have oily or texturized skin, you're gonna go for a matte foundation. But if your skin is similar to mine and you just have like a few pimples sometimes, you're free to use anything. But if you're oily around here, what you would do before going in with your foundation is, after you've used your primer, you'll go in with a translucent powder and just tap in the areas where you are the most oily. I didn't do it because I'm not going anywhere today, so there's no need for me to do that, but that's what you would do. And matte, I just don't like matte foundations personally, so that's why I don't use them. But these three, this is for combination to oily skin, this is for normal to oily, and this is hydrating, but I'm guessing it is normal to oily. So those are the foundations I use, and these brands do have matte options or just normal options. I've gone in with my foundation everywhere, and now it's like, okay, what next? Sorry, it's windy today, so what do you do next? I go in with blush, and honestly, you guys, you do not need like an actual blush. You can use lipstick if you want. I use lipstick sometimes. I use a regular blush. It doesn't matter as long as there's pigment on your cheeks. You have a P. Louise blush, you have an Essence blush, whichever blush you like. Also, pick your blush based on how your eyeshadow is gonna look, or based on how your lip liner is gonna look, because you don't want to have like a bright pink cheek and then next thing your lips are orange, you know. It's just not gonna sangan. What I tend to do when I want like a bronzed kind of look, I'll go in with my red lipstick from Woolworths Beauty in shade Stiletto. That's literally how much I'll put. And I'll also put on my nose. Again, this is all very subjective. However much you wanna put is how much you're gonna put, okay? I feel like today I'm going in very lightly with everything that I'm using, and then go in and blend it out. Another thing I should state is that with all the makeup products I use, you can literally layer however much you want. Hello? You can layer however much you want to, and it doesn't matter. I don't like to feel like I'm wearing makeup, and I feel like with everything that I'm using, I don't feel that. I don't know, maybe it's a bit of tism or something, but I don't like to feel like I'm wearing makeup. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a sensory thing, but we'll never know. So yeah, cheeks, nose, cheek, and then a bit of the eye, you know? I think it's cute. Also, to put blush on the nose, it's cute in the summer. You know how like how when white people get sunburned, their nose is a bit rosy. I don't think that's what we're going for, but that's what it looks like on natural skin. But also, I just think it's so tea. It's cute. Not everybody likes it. I like it. You won't even see it that much towards the end. But yeah, I usually do like a double blush sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling. I want to be just a bit more bronzed, so I'm gonna go in a bit more with my foundation, and then I'm gonna go in with more blush, but this time I think I'm gonna do like a different color. But also, these products, like no matter what I use, it layers on so well. And I think that's to do with how I prep my skin and the brushes I use or the sponge I use, or maybe even just the motions of the brush, I don't know. But they layer on so well. I think I'm gonna go in with this P. Louise, just a bit. One thing about P. Louise though, she's going to stain, girl. She will stain you. Ooh, look at that, my gosh. And if I'm not lazy, I will link where I get all these products from, or I'll just do like a separate video to link where I get everything from. And all of these I got in South Africa, so if I got it, you can get it. How stunning. Tea. Now, concealer. Concealer is our best friend, you guys. This whole bag full with concealer, I'm not even joking. These are all my concealers. LA Girl, Essence, LA Girl, LA Girl, Maybelline, ooh, one just fell, LA Girl, LA Girl, Wet n Wild, Wet n Wild. So, do I have a favorite? No, I don't have a favorite concealer. I literally use what I want to use. I don't like her. That's just me. My cousin uses it, my friend uses it, they all love it. I don't. I sometimes use her when I really need to like brighten my under eye, and I don't have an issue with that then, but I will never use her to do my full face. I don't know what my beef is with Essence. She's like, this is a good concealer. I just don't like it. Wet n Wild. This is my favorite. Girl, you just said you don't have a favorite. This is what I've been using since December, and she's finishing. And I love her down. The only thing is this is an old product and she's discontinued. They have a new concealer, new formula, new everything. I haven't tried it yet, but it's just not this. And I have a feeling that this is a dupe of this. This is Maybelline Fit Me. This is the first time I use, well, the first time I got her, and she's a bit dark for concealer, so I sometimes use her when I want like a no makeup day and I'm just gonna do concealer. I'll use her and then I'll go in with a lighter one, and then that's all I have, and I put mascara. That's what I use her for. And then LA Girl. LA Girl is the OG It Girl. He's my contour shade. I don't contour as much anymore, but if I did use contour, I would go in just before I did blush and heavily on my nose, but all before concealer. And then these, I don't use LA Girl concealer anymore, but I still have them. I use this shade, which is closest to my skin complexion, when I want to carve out my brows. But I have so many LA Girls for a reason, because she is good. So concealer is totally up to you. What brand? Also, the Makeup Revolution concealer is really, really good. The only thing about that concealer is that it smells like chemicals. I don't know. That's what I think it smells like. But today we're going in with Wet n Wild, even though she's discontinued. In shade 44B and 45B. Well, it's 845 and 844B. But yeah, this is Deep Tan and Dark Cocoa. So with 45, I'll go in here. If you want to carve your underbrow, you can. I usually don't. I don't even know why I did that. But yeah, this is where I will go with my concealer. In these areas with the 45B, and then with the lightest one I'll go in the inner corner, but I think I'm gonna blend this out first before I go in. Just come in a bit. I do not like the sharp line. I don't know what it is, I just don't like it. That's why I only go like just a bit in, and then over there, and I bring it up to my nose, especially in there. And then we're gonna do our forehead. And then we're gonna do this part, even though I didn't want to. Okay. Now we're gonna blend here. I'm just gonna take a mirror, put it up close to see if I'm doing rubbish or not. Okay, that's how we've blended it for that snatched look. as you can see, some of the blush has blended into it a bit. That's fine, it's not a big deal.
I feel like this should be an obvious though, but do not blend your concealer out with the brush you use to blend your foundation out. Oh yeah, also, after you've done concealer on your forehead, go back in with your foundation sponge.
I'm gonna go in with the lighter concealer, and we're only gonna go into our inner corner. Not too much though. I think that's a decent amount. And depending on how full coverage you want it, you can let it sit and then move on to another step, or blend it immediately. It's totally up to you. If you're gonna let it sit, I would go into brows. If you find eyebrows to be very difficult, start with your brows, because you don't want to have a whole face of makeup and then you mess up your brows and then your whole day is ruined. Nobody wants that. So start with your brows and then go on with the whole makeup process. But yeah, if your brows are shaped or you have your brow routine to a T, you can do them last or you can do them now as you wait for your concealer to dry. So now we're gonna go with the other side of the sponge because hello. And okay, I'm just gonna hold this mirror here where we're gonna blend it out, and this one we're gonna bring it more down, like that. But if you have done your eyeshadow first, then you can't do that, and then you must also learn how to not go into the eyeshadow. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. Okay, so everything liquid has been put on. We can now move on to our powder base. So this is what our liquid base is looking like. I'm not mad. I think she's fairly cute. Now we're gonna go into powder. Essence Mattifying Compact Powder. Holy grail. I live by this. I would die for her. I would sacrifice my life for her. Miss London powder in shade Butter Banana Bread. I like her, but she's not holy grail because when it's hot, she gives up. So I tend to sweat a lot here, and she separates just a bit. Like, it's not that noticeable, but if you're like up close, you will see. So she does fail me sometimes, but like any other day, if it's a cool day, holy grail, the best. I use this all over my face to have a transfer-less base, and then I go in with my setting powder in shade Banana underneath my eyes. How do I do this? We take our powder, we take a triangle puff. Guys, you can literally get these on Shein for like 15 rand. Come on. So this is what the powder looks like. We're gonna go into the powder. Now, this is where the mistakes, sorry, I'm just gonna get a bit more. This is where the mistakes arrive. You're gonna go like this and take off that excess powder. No? Before you go in with your powder, just go in again make sure that there are no creases, right? And we're gonna go like that. See that area? Cover it. If you feel like it's not enough, go back. Okay, on the other side, blend. Take out all the creases. Also, guys, don't be afraid to crease. It's just how your eye is. Again, tap, 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 tap. Down here as well. Going with the X's, come to your chin. Okay, the thing is now, if you just do that and then go straight into your eye, you're gonna have blotches everywhere. And then you're gonna be like, oh, why is my setting so cakey? Why is it never looking nice? I don't know if I'm making sense, I don't know. But yeah, make sure you tap it out, you guys, and then go in. Also, another trick to avoid creasing is when you go in with your powder, like look up like that. Now we're gonna go in with the light one again. Tap, 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 tap. And then we're gonna go to our T-zone. And we're gonna go like that. So basically, everywhere where you put concealer, you're gonna go in with your setting powder, translucent powder, whatever. And that's where you're gonna focus on. Now we're scary. Now it's like, okay, but we've lost the plot. It's fine, guys. Trust the process. Trust the process. Now, remember her, my holy grail. Right. If you don't have setting powder, you can also go in with this. Just get a lighter shade so that your under eye can under eye, and you didn't do all that makeup for nothing, because now you have a dark under eye and then your flat surface is lighter. You get what I'm trying to say. So now we've just used this part of the sponge, right? Now we're gonna go with this part and we're gonna go into our darker compact powder that is the shade of your complexion, and you're gonna and then we're gonna go in all over, because we want that foundation to sit, because we don't want it to transfer onto somebody else when we're hugging someone or just because we want everything set. And don't worry, like, this doesn't give you like a dry face or anything. This is how our sponge is looking, and it's hard. We can now just tap it in. Don't add any more product, just tap it in. Tap it in, tap it in, tap it in, tap it in, tap it in. Get like a fluffy brush of some sort,
and then like take away the excess powder. So if there's like extra. Now, can you see? We're looking dry. That's fine. Let's not stress. Okay. Now we're gonna go in with our powdered blush, powdered bronzer, and you can do your eyeshadow now. If you want to do your eyeshadow, you can like set it and then do your eyeshadow however you want. But remember, we're focusing on the base today. We're not going to go into any of that. Right. This is the blush palette I use. I got this in Hatfield at that makeup shop next to Pierced by Zulu. Is it Pierced by Zulu? I think it is. I'm gonna go like this with this color. Ooh. Ooh. She's cute. She's cute. Also, you don't want to go directly to, I don't know if you guys remember, like when we used to watch James Charles back in the day. Like he would take his product and then, because you don't want too much, because then it's too focused in one area. But yes, with your brush, start here and then go in upwards motion. Sometimes I think like you even do it subconsciously now. You smile because you want your apples to be focused. And it's so subtle. Also, blush is up to you. And you don't even have to do one color. You can mix your blush. I think I'm gonna go in. Should we go with this diva or this diva? Let's go with this diva. Not too much. I'm gonna start higher now. And then work my way down. Ooh, tea. And then, what I really love to do, we're gonna go back to our original shade. We're gonna go a bit like that. And then on the button of our nose. And then as well, eyes. T, bro. Now we have color back. Now bronzer. So remember, this is a safe space. We do not judge. But also, it's makeup. You can use literally anything to achieve the look. I go in with this Sheen palette for my bronzer, but we're not gonna be with her anymore because I found a bronzer that works for my complexion. The Makeup Revolution bronzer. They only have 3 shades though, so I fear if you are a bit darker than me, it's not gonna work for you, but you can always try. I just wouldn't want to spend 200 rand on something that's not gonna work for me, you know? Another thing that I used to do before I started using bronzer is I would mix my LA Girl in Mahogany. I'd put some on the back, and then I would take that red lipstick and I would mix them together, and then I would do that. It sort of gave the bronze effect. Not fully, but it did. Guess. Let's take a guess which shade I use for bronzer. Ah, correct. Yeah, I use this shade. I go in with an angled brush. Why an angled brush? Because you guys, you're literally working at an angle. You are sculpting the face. You are bringing color to the face, and it just works better. That explanation went shit, but that's the one I'm using. Are you kidding me? And it adds so much to the blush. Like, it just makes the face so warm. I love bronzer. I will forever be a bronzer girly. She's just that girl. Don't forget your forehead. Come down.
If you want, you can even go in there like we've been doing with the blush. But yeah, I'll forever be a bronzer girly. I just love it. I just wish that they had more shades, because for the longest time, like, you would see, oh, the white girls are using bronzer and you're like, oh, that looks so nice, and then you look and then it's like, okay, what am I gonna use? And then like brands do make bronzer and then they only have 3 shades revolution, and then it's like, okay, but this doesn't work for my complexion. Now they're becoming more inclusive, but like back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I mean like 2 years ago, like it just wasn't a thing. So that's the only sad thing about being a bronzer girl, is that it takes so long for you to find one that works for you, that you even tend to use eyeshadow. My goodness. But yeah, see how I brought warmth to my face? I brought color. I just love it. I'm sorry, I'm fangirling right now. And if you want, you can go back in with more blush, depending on how much blush you like. And then another thing I do is take the very same bronzer and come to my nose, and I make it more defined, and I go down like that. Now, I don't care about nose contour as much as I did back in the day, because I don't know, I think that was the vibe and everything. But if you want like your nose to be more defined, I would do this and then go back in to your powder, do that again, and then like make it more defined. Right. Setting spray is also something I think you should invest in. And I say that because my favorite drugstore setting spray is like 100 rand or 120 for such a small bottle, for only 30 milliliters. Sorry, yeah, you heard me. LA Girl Pro Setting Spray. She's just that girl. I'm sorry. I will love her down. Her. I'm only gonna use her today. Usually if I have like somewhere I want to go and I'm gonna be out for long, I'll use 2 setting sprays. Now you can use this one and the essence together. If you're gonna go in with your setting spray, make sure you have a fan or a hand fan, or go in, take your eyeshadow palette and do that. Just make sure you are helping that setting spray dry. I don't know what it is, but the thing is, some setting sprays just aren't that good, so you spray them and then everything is melting. These are good, so you're not gonna have that. But just in case, have a fan, have a hand fan, have something to help the makeup dry. So you will drench your face. Actually, you don't have to, just however much I spray, that's how much you should spray, because that's how much it works. I don't know if I do a lot or if I do a little. We'll see. We've let that dry, and this is how the base is looking. If you want more, go in with more. You can layer, you guys. So if you feel you're not bronzed enough, go back in with bronzer, go back in with blush, go back in with whatever you want. Now, one trick that I did see on the internet yesterday is that if you feel that your setting spray has like melted everything too much, you can do your setting spray, go in with your powder, and then focus it underneath there for that brightening look. Like if you feel you are not brightened enough, guys, this is so tea, I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm just gonna spray it again because I don't like it that harsh. You've completed your base. You're gonna go into your eyeshadow, you're gonna do your eyebrows, and you're gonna do your lips. Before you go into that, get an earbud, check for eye boogers, and then you're gonna check this area, and I would go in with a concealer brush. Let me show you what a concealer brush looks like. This is a concealer brush, or what one looks like. This is like a small concealer brush. Go to this area, see if it's caked or not blended properly. Mine is fine at the moment, but you would go in like that and blend. So we've done all that now, and we want highlighter. You have your Essence highlighter and your She Glam highlighter. I like this Essence one, and I only highlight on my nose in the highlighted areas. It looks like I have a highlighter on, but I don't. So I'll go in there and in there, and then I'll tap it out with my finger. If you want highlighter on your cheek, I'm not really a fan of that, but sometimes I do want a bit of a glow. I will put it on when I put the blush and mix it together, or put the blush then put the highlighter, and then it gives you like a bit of a glow. But I feel like naturally my cheekbones reflect a bit of highlight, so I don't really go into that. So I'm gonna do everything off camera, as in eyebrows, eyes, lips, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the finished product. That is the full makeup look, and I really do hope this was helpful. Next, we're gonna do like if I do another video, we're gonna do a whole different method, and yeah, I think hopefully I make more videos. It's just that they take forever because I am lazy. Ooh, sorry. It's just, it is what it is. But I really do hope you guys found this helpful. Otherwise, bye.